We are live. All right, Lise. Hey, welcome guys to the first episode of Fire Your Boss Friday. And the way we like to say that is fire your boss. And you can take that however you will. But some of the things we want to talk about in today's episode, which is our pioneering, our virgin episode. It's where we bring all the energy to the table and we try to put it together for you guys. So we're going to kind of cover what you can expect in the future and what we have planned to expose on our channel and on our podcast for entrepreneurs. So the basis is, if you're an entrepreneur, listen up. And if
or want to be an entrepreneur.
Or want to be, absolutely. Yes, yeah, great point. I mean, there's room for everybody here. But some of the topics we want to cover as we move forward for our soon-to-be entrepreneurs. The name kind of says it all, right, Lise? I mean, fire your boss, become an entrepreneur, start your own business, chase your dream, take back your life. There's so many ways to look at this, but we felt like this really captured the way we look at it, and the way that we look at becoming a business owner. So the name stuck. Here we are. We're putting videos together. We're putting content together. And this is something that's been a long time coming, but we never thought it would be a podcast, honestly. And here we are today. But I think a podcast is a good way for outreach, to connect with people on a lot of different levels. Plus, it's a good way to passively take in information from other people, like-minded people. So some of the things that we're going to cover here today in today's episode is what you can expect in the future. So if you're looking for a way out of your current job or your line of work, but you are not really sure on how to go about getting to that place, listen up. If you're not sure what you want to be when you grow up, which is how kind of Lisa puts it, she's a little more playful than me. I guess I'm the serious one. Yeah, which is fine with her. And also, if you want to become an entrepreneur, but you're not sure like what business to start, or you have 2 or 3 ideas and you want to kind of narrow it down, we're gonna kind of dive into all those topics, not necessarily entirely today, but that's what you can expect in the future. And some of the guests that we have lined up kind of align with some of these topics already. We have people who are generating passive income that went from serving tables to 30 grand a year in passive income in 1 year. So lots of stuff coming up. Also, some of the other things, if you want to become an entrepreneur, but you are not sure where to find the time or money, and that is AKA my specialty. And we'll dive deep into that, not only on this episode, but pretty much every episode. You're probably going to hear some token to that, because the biggest kind of pushback we get as we've helped other entrepreneurs take the leap is
taking a leap and just being scared to just actually go dive in.
Yeah, like, well, time and money, right? It's it's always, I don't have enough time, I don't have the money for it, right? So that's always going to be kind of the overlying dialogue that we're going to be tackling to get you over that hump. So also, if you feel like you're stuck or you need help taking that leap to the next chapter in your life, everybody's dreaming. I feel like everyone has a place in their heart that is bigger than where they are right now. They might have settled, or they might be doing something that works great, or even the job they're in, their career they're in is great, but of course they want to take it to the next level. Maybe it's just time constraint, but the money's there. Well,
I just read a statistic today that 85% of people are unhappy in their current job.
Right. So here we're out saving lives, right? So we have a bigger purpose here. This isn't really about, what we do in our business models that we've had, but really we're at a point in our careers where we really want to start giving back. And we've already been doing it, but we thought, listen, we've helped so many people already. Let's put this together in a way that, we can really, our outreach can go a lot farther. So,
including ourselves, like, I think we found the freedoms and, people are often asking us how we do it.
Right. Like how we travel, because it almost looks fake to some people, right?
People ask, like, did you win the lottery? Or
that's common. I've heard that a few times, right? So, and it is kind of winning the lottery, but it's essentially, we believe anybody has the capacity for it. And we've seen people, even, like one of our up and coming guests, Brittany, she didn't even think she's capable. She was terrified. So she was probably one of the most terrified people taking the leap. She had no idea what she was getting into. I mean, because in her mind, she was never going to be an entrepreneur. So that had never been on her plate at all. So anyway, when we get to her interview, you guys are going to love it. But a couple more things I want to cover here. If you've had a business idea, but you don't know how to take that business idea and turn it into, or even any idea and turn it into a business, that's something that we want to cover. That's something we've seen in the past. People who have ideas. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to start a business. You could just essentially sell your whole idea to someone else. And so you want to ask yourself, do I want to be tied to a business for the next 5 or 10 years? Or do I want my idea to get out to the people? Like, how can I get this thing out so I can change people's lives? So also, the last thing that I have on my list here, if you just want more time and freedom to do the things you enjoy in life, that's almost a given. If you play your cards right, if you're not just going blindly, because I see people start businesses and then there's the joke online, you see these memes where it's like, oh,
not what I expected.
Not what I expected, or I used to work, 8-hour days. Now I work for myself and I work 15-hour days. Yeah. The difference is that you can double your income, triple your income, right? And what that comes down to is not really about doubling your income or tripling your income. It's about hitting a point, or what I call like the millionaire mark, where you can do what you want, when you want, with who you want, and how you want. All those things, once they line up, you're okay working 15-hour days for 6 months when at some point there's going to be a break.
Light at the end of the tunnel.
There's a light at the end of the tunnel. I know I've worked for, companies historically in the past when I was very, very young, but both Lisa and I have been entrepreneurs essentially our whole lives. I can't wait to share your story about, it was an Arctic Circle. Oh, yeah. Yeah, anyway, we'll get into that. But thanks for joining us, guys. We really, really super duper appreciate anybody who's here today early on in the journey with us. And, if there's some sort of feedback or you have questions, we're here for you. We are developing every day as well, and we want to know what you guys want to know. And we're going to be learning, too, for some of our guests who are, substantially farther along in the journey than we are. And that's all part of kind of why we want to do this, too, because we want to up our game, too, as well, and just be a part of a community of people and entrepreneurs that are just killing it out there. So anything you want to add to that, Lise?
Nope.
All right. So let's dive into kind of, just to give you a little background on Lisa and I. We've been married now for, 2012, right? And
married just over 10 years.
Yeah,
and together for 15.
So when we first got together, we didn't know this. What are you laughing? When we first got, because I didn't do the math. The 10-year thing.
Oh, no.
No, okay, because she tries to get me on that. I mean, come on, guys, you know what I'm talking about. All right, so, but the idea that when we got together, we didn't actually know that this was going to be our journey. Oh. We kind of...
I thought you were going to go all the way back to we met in high school.
Oh, we did actually meet in high school. I don't know if you guys want to hear this story. It might get edited, but do you mind if I share?
Go ahead.
All right, so this is where it all began. Bubbles over the head, circles. So Lisa, I saw her in the hallway in high school, and this was in Utah, and I thought, man, that chick is smoking hot. Anyway, so I thought, I'm going to go get her number. So I go over, hey, what's going on? My name's Chad. She knew who I was. We had some mutual friends in high school, but we weren't real close, right?
Well, I only knew who you were because my friend liked you.
Yeah, so that's kind of the thing here. What was funny, though, is I didn't know that. So I asked for her phone number, and she's like, yeah, sure, here you have it. And then that night I call her, and she's just giving me these one-word answers like, yep, cool. And I thought, she don't like me. This is over. I said, we're just going to be friends. So I hang up the phone that night. Next day at school, okay, hey, what's going on? We're friends. I just went with it, right? Because it's clearly I got rejected, right? And she wasn't mean or anything, but she was real. It seemed real cold to me. Anyway, I come to find out years and years later that she actually was just protecting her friend because her friend had a crush on me. Her Lindsay had a crush on me, but I had no idea who Lindsay was. And so...
And you still don't really know.
I still actually don't know who this Lindsay was, who was like, what, I don't know, lack of a better term, but she's getting in the middle of my business. So anyway, long story short, Lisa still obviously had her eye on me too. And she reached out to me. And then anyway, boom, I fell head over heels for her because I thought, I've been waiting for this moment. Anyway, so this happens. And then right away, we actually started looking for a house. It didn't take us long, like a few months or something, right? Mm-hmm. And this was right after the big real estate crash. So we buy our first piece of real estate together. We weren't married. And if anyone knows anything about buying real estate together, it's actually the biggest commitment you can make with someone.
Right.
And we didn't kind of put that together. And we thought about it, shoot. And you guys can...
Well, marriage is just on paper.
It's on paper, so you can just break that marriage and go away. But
this creates something you have to fight over.
Now we got something to duke it out about. So we thought, man, we made a bigger commitment than marriage today. But we didn't really think about that for a couple more years. Anyway, that investment ended up... We bought it from a bank, I think Bank of America or something, at a fraction of the cost. And REO, we put some money into it. We invested into the property. I'm a contractor by trade, and we started our real estate journey together at that point. She'd already been doing some real estate. I'd already been flipping homes, but this is where it all began, and that has fueled all of our passion projects and a lot of the stuff that we've done. Real estate has played a big role, but it's given us the freedom to do some of the things that we've done, but it's given us a new how do I put this into words? Like, what has real estate given us technically?
Well, freedoms, yeah. Passive income. Yeah. So that's when we took the leap. At first we had this house, and we had this 36-foot RV. We were doing good. We had our whole driveway. Oh, we had it all.
Yeah. God, did we have it all? It was a nightmare of stuff. The garage was full, 3-car garage.
Half-acre lot, had to pull weeds.
Pool.
All the time.
Yeah, the weed pulling was gnarly, right? I mean, we could have hired someone, but it was just like, yeah, it was just eating us alive.
Well, we
right?
did eventually end up hiring
we did hire someone,
yeah.
But it was like a ranch, right?
Yeah.
Like, what were we doing, right? And we just thought, this is our everyday life is just to maintain this asset and all these things. And so we just decided at some point.
Well, at that point, it wasn't really an asset. It was
a complete liability.
Yeah.
Time, eating our time, our energy, and our money, right?
Although we were house hacking then too. I mean, we did have roommates.
Yes, we did. Yeah, we've always been into the house hacking thing. So, but it was still...
Which we'll go into more detail at some point.
Yes. The house hacking.
Yeah.
The roller coasters. The goods and bads.
Right.
But I kind of want to tap into why we decided just to, basically F that too. Remember, we just fired that lifestyle. We said, I'm over it.
Right.
What am I doing? I don't want to mow the lawn. When I was in high school dreaming of what I wanted to be, it wasn't someone who mowed their lawn.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm over it. So
well, especially that big of
a lot, right? Yeah. So, and now the place we're in now, with zero lawn. Like we don't even own a lawnmower. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, anyway, we've come full circle, but the idea is maximizing your time, your energy, and your resources, your mental capacity, your financial capacity, so that you can go and chase your dreams, which is exactly what we did. Mm-hmm. And so
my dream, a big part of it was wanting to travel the world.
That is your passion. Absolutely. She has dragged me all over this continent and others as well. Places I don't even know where I'm at sometimes. People, where have you been? I don't know. Where have we been? Where have we been? Where do we go?
Well, or where have we lived? We've lived out of the country as well.
Yeah. So we played with living out of the country and abroad, and only really just to we were testing some of our abilities at the same time. Like, is this possible? Mm-hmm. Right? Hey,
well, you hear about how fabulous it is to live in another country, and be an expat and
working online.
Yeah. So, I mean, we gave it a go, and I've decided I think that it's not for me.
Yeah. Well, you got to try it. I mean,
at
you
least
have to do
not.
it.
I mean, yeah, maybe in the future, but
Right. So to explore a little bit more about our background, that's a big part of it. Like that was the launch pad for almost everything. Because had we kept all of that stuff, Lise,
we wouldn't have been able to do it.
we wouldn't have been, especially maybe, but not at the same speed.
Right.
Remember, because although it took us a year to sell everything, garage sales and donations and giving stuff away and minimizing completely, it just gave us a launch pad. Like we can do anything now. It's a complete start over, complete reset, except for now we have the knowledge that we've accumulated all that time. We have the finances, right? Because money wasn't just flying out the window now, and we like really focused it down. And then that's when the business at that point, because there was a time where I had to be working and you had to be working to maintain that. And we minimized to such a degree in just a year.
Well, working more, you mean like actually going to my clients' locations?
Yeah. So then you went full remote that following year, right? And then, which was a big goal. And these are things that we put in front of ourselves, challenges that we wanted to tackle, you know, because we had the dream or the goal. And then ultimately, Lisa was able to sustain. I sold off my business, my construction business at the time. But because of what we did, we were able to immediately just go to a one-income family. And you were totally supporting us with the bookkeeping operation. And that was cool. It gave me time to kind of process, like, where am I going to go? What am I going to do with my skill sets?
What do you want to be when you grow up?
What do I want to be when I grow up? Which is, at that time, I kind of thought I wanted to be this, that, or the other. And I've always went after pretty big things. I mean, I spent 20 years chasing the dream of a rock singer. And but construction, I thought, what am I going to do with this? What else am I good at? You gave me that, babe, and I just have to say that is so cool that I had the opportunity to really develop that part of me, this new branch of where I was going. And anyway, it's been a godsend. And so, but at that point, Lisa was the business, just one business was maintaining what we could do, and we were chasing bigger goals now.
Well, and then, I mean, we did still have real estate during that time as well.
So we had our primary residence, which at that time, that property we bought.
And the townhouse.
And then a townhome, and we had both of those rented out. And so we actually didn't have a place to live. All the real estate that we owned, we were renting out, turned it all into assets. And so the idea with your life is to turn your whole life from liabilities to assets. And I think that trajectory is really what sets you up for success, no matter what you want to do. You want to be a hairstylist, no matter what it is you want to do, you've got to take anything that's consuming your time and not giving it back, consuming your money and not giving it back, consuming your energy and not giving it back. Those are liabilities. You got to turn all those into assets.
Right.
And if you can do that, like the sky's the limit. I think that's really what's holding most people back. It fits into those categories.
Yeah.
Right. And so, and one of the things where's that quote from Maxwell? What is it? Do we have it here?
This one?
Yeah. So essentially, John Maxwell says this: the 4 reasons people want to change. They change when they hurt enough that they have to. They change when they see enough that they're inspired to. They change when they learn enough that they want to. And they change when they receive enough that they're able to. And the kind of the power, why that impacted me when I heard it is I feel like entrepreneurs are in that space.
So do you feel those are all collective? Like, does someone have to get to all 4 of those places to make that change? Or is it more like, okay, I'm going to change because I'm hurting enough, and that creates the change?
I think that's it. One of any of those. I think they're categories. Like, it's just one of, essentially, it's like, is my pain enough? Right? And you can, hack this system, but this is just the common spaces that people are kind of forced to change, right? Or they're looking for change. Like this second one, when you see enough that you're inspired to, right? How many times I know that I've watched someone, Gary Vee, Joe Rogan, Tony Robbins. I mean, just so many people who've like inspired me to take the leap in some other direction in my life that was way bigger. And it's that inspiration that drove me to change.
I think it's, my clients and, people coming to me, asking me, like, how do you do what you do?
Yeah, that's actually been a big part for you.
That's inspired me, like, and where I'm at is like, I want to give back and help these people and teach them the freedoms and, the path that we have taken.
Do you feel that there's like a level of compassion that kind of sets in when you see people that want it really, and they want to work for it, and they're hard workers, they're capable of it, and you just want to put the resources in front of them, and this says here that they receive enough that they're able to. Right? And that's kind of what this podcast is about, is putting those things in front of you. We want to inspire you, we want to teach, we want you to have the resources that you need.
Show them the path.
The path, right? And break all that.
Yeah.
The fear that's destroying you is built into all those, right? The ability, not that you don't have the knowledge, the wherewithal, the community, whatever it may be. And I know we're not the only ones doing this. There's tons of people out there trying to help others break through these boundaries. These are real boundaries. You're going to see them. You probably see them in yourself. You probably see them in other people. You see a lot of potential in someone. I have, right? You've seen this with your clients where you're like, one of your newest bookkeeping clients, she just started her bookkeeping company. And where did she launch? What state?
Patty. She's in Utah.
In Utah. And she got her first client, right? Like within what?
Right away.
Overwhelming for her.
Right.
Remember? Whoa, I didn't think I'd get here this quick. Right. And then that's the reward for you, right?
But she's not a bookkeeping client. She's someone I'm mentoring.
You're mentoring, correct. Yeah. So not a client. At this point, you're in full mentor mode, right? You're helping others build these 6-figure businesses, right? Or, and what we would call, is it residual or passive, or what would you call it?
No.
Just monthly recurring?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And you've met, on your journey in that space with bookkeeping. I mean, we'll get into that in a minute, but to stay on track with like our history and where we're at, we've been doing all sorts of cool real estate transactions and been in the real estate game for some time. We've flipped multiple homes. We've done Texas, Florida, Utah, Nevada.
Not all of which has been.
We've had some ups and downs.
Happy.
Yeah. Well, Florida was a great flip.
Challenging.
But then we had a nightmare tenant, right? It hasn't all been awesome, but I'll tell you, it's all been worth it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we'll definitely be sharing those ups and downs of. Real estate's been good, but it's definitely got its downside too.
Yes, the goods and bads. But if you're interested in learning more about any sort of real estate investing, that's certainly going to be talked about on here. Because no matter what business you're in, or anyone that starts a business, a lot of our business owner clients and friends, essentially, if you make a ton of money, they're just basically taking that money. Where else are you going to put it? You don't want to just keep it in the bank, right? These people are investing in real estate, even if their income is coming from something different. Doctors, some of the influencers online. I mean, these people are, the investment space is like, where do I stockpile my money and where's the most secure?
Right.
And it ends up being, real estate's a real popular place for it. So as you're developing your business model and you're in business 1 or 2 years, there's no reason you shouldn't be playing the real estate game with your gains, and making that a big part of your business model, even if it's not full-time. You don't have to be, we're not full-time real estate investors, but I wouldn't say we're not real estate investing because we are constantly. So with that said, the goal is to go into a space that you love. If it's real estate, go into it. If it's, you want to do woodwork or.
Well, I think, we're going to be covering topics, passive and non-passive. So, whether it be just chasing your passion and creating a business from that, or, ways to create passive income. Because there's many ways. It's not just real estate.
Right. So, Lisa, I want to talk about this for a minute. When we were kind of figuring out like what would we talk about on a podcast, and we came up with the name, like Fire Your Boss, and then we have the innuendo in there that's like, everybody knows what's going on here. But what was our real mission in that moment? Do you remember? Like, what were we thinking about at that moment?
Well, I mean, I think, kind of what we already covered, which was like, just helping people get from point A to point B, helping them take the leap.
It's about that. It's that gap, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
That we were talking about, like the gap between.
Well, we're going to be doing retreats too.
Oh yeah. So, well, like where we're breaking down those fears, we're crushing limiting beliefs.
One-on-one time with people.
Absolutely.
Walking you through, like, how do you actually do this? Like, so the strategies of, that's going to get you there quicker. Because I mean, you could certainly do it on your own, and we did. So it's not impossible.
No.
And not that we didn't receive inspiration from.
We certainly did. Absolutely.
But I mean, like we both, I think, have this genuine, desire to help others get there quicker. Mm-hmm. And, I think
that's our reward at this point, right? I mean, we've both had our successes, right? And at this point, we both could just do what we're doing. We'd be fine. We already know that. We've already made that decision. Mm-hmm. But it comes a time.
For me, it was a struggle. Like, I mean, because I did like doing what I was doing when I was doing the bookkeeping.
It wasn't a bad life.
No, I actually loved it, and I went back and forth. There were several times where.
And this was before you sold your business.
Yeah, well, that's what you mean. That's what I'm saying. It's like there were several times where I was like, okay, I'm going to sell it, because I did want to do this. Like this project has been in the works.
So you had to essentially take a leap from entrepreneurship to helping your community.
Yeah.
So would you say that's like the hierarchy? It's like start your own business, establish yourself, get to a certain point, and then how are you giving back to your community, people around you, friends, family, and then at some point how am I contributing to the world?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, yeah, I'm doing someone's books, but I mean, come on.
Right.
You felt like you had a bigger purpose.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And people had come to you. This wasn't something you just conjured up.
No.
Right?
Yeah. No, people would come to me all the time and, ask how to start a business. And
we were helping people for years, really, just casually.
Well, I've been doing it and actually starting businesses I've helped over 200 people start businesses.
Right.
Over the last probably 10 years or so. But
yeah.
I've always, even though like I had a bookkeeping company, I always had, served as a consultant.
Well,
to these people also.
You and in your previous life, AKA first marriage.
Yes.
You and your ex-husband built an astonishing empire.
Right.
Didn't you build a marketing company from the ground up, from just you and him, to a Yellow Page company? Yeah. So you were
the fifth fastest growing business.
And how many cities were you in?
Oh my gosh, a lot. Well, states like. There was about 30 states that we were in, and Canada.
With multiple cities, right?
Yeah,
yeah. And so it's just a massive,
100 employees,
massive organization, right? And what you learned through that was just, first of all, what's possible.
Well, and that was just one of the businesses we had too.
Sure, so, you guys, and what did you do with your money? Where did you
invest
it?
In
real estate, right? Which is still to this day, currently creating income from that. It's still a big part of how that...
For him, not for me.
Of course. But so you guys played the real estate game along, and it's just something that you've kind of brought over into our marriage and our life and our business as well. And I'm honored to have someone like this on my team. Listen, if you're a contractor and you're single, you need to find a bookkeeper or an accountant to be your wife. Don't find a wife to be your accountant or bookkeeper. That's not the strategy. So anyway, that's my advice. Anyway, I lucked out. So, well, cool. So Lisa, I've always been fascinated with what you're capable of. I think it's super cool. And I'm like one of your biggest fans, right? So, when you're coaching someone, to give people an idea of like what they can expect from you, not only on our podcast and some of the things that we share, but what can they expect from you, like as a person? Like, how do you like to teach? Aren't you like to keep it like a distance, don't you? Like, you're not a real one-on-one kind of person.
I mean, somewhat. Because that's kind of where I'm going, is I'm building courses, so that there isn't as much one-on-one. Just because I want to be able to serve more people too.
Right.
So
that's the way
as it is right now, it's one-on-one. So
right.
I've got
because you're just taking the leap now, right? Mm-hmm. So in the beginning stages, it's obviously one-on-one stuff, and you're helping people through that journey. But don't you like to learn through courses? Because I know I've watched you. I'm like, hey, check out this video. Oh, I just saw this. Da 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 da. And you're
well,
like,
as long as the course isn't a video.
yeah, it's funny because
I have to read. I can't watch videos.
Yeah,
not my gig.
And so she wants to. Obviously, that's your target demographic, is like people who like to learn the same way you do, right? Mm-hmm. And honestly, I think bookkeepers kind of are that demographic. If you want to be a bookkeeper, more than likely you're not interested in like the limelight, or you're like the drummer in the band, right? Like you're in the back, So, and not that that's a bad place. The drummer's an essential. I mean, honestly, that's what makes people move.
It's more like you're the manager.
Managing the fun. Oh, the manager of the band, even farther off stage, but it wouldn't be happening at all if it wasn't for them, right? Yes. Oh, God, I love the way your mind works. That's cool. Yeah, I like that analogy. That's cool. So yeah, bookkeepers play a big role in the success. So in any business, and we're certainly going to talk about that, guys. In everything that we do, we're always going to dive deep into topics like, what's the essentials, right? What are the essentials of owning a business? Like if you were to, what would something you say to someone right now if they were going to go out and just go for it today?
The essentials? Like
yeah. What would be what would you need to just launch? What would be 5 things that they could just go after right now?
I don't know.
Big question.
I mean, you just have to want it. Like,
just have to want it.
Just go for it, I think.
So let's walk through that. I guess there's 3 different types of people.
I mean, you got to have the idea.
Okay.
You got to know what you want.
So we've got to come up with a goal or a dream.
Yeah, your purpose, your passion.
Passion
is a good place, but not everybody
finds it right away.
Yeah, some people a good way start. Like they'll start a lawn care business or something.
Right.
And I mean, maybe some people have a passion for that. I don't know.
Sure. We've actually talked to people, and we're like, "Are you sure lawn care?" Oh yeah, no, I love being outside. Yeah, right. And we're like, oh, okay, well let's do it. Yeah. So,
but I mean, I think the ultimate goal is, help people find their purpose and their passion, because you can make money doing that, and you can start a business doing that.
Yeah. Well, and you can make mistakes.
And what you're good at.
Yeah. Like you can screw that first decision up too, right? Yeah. Like I wanted to be I've always been a dream. So I've failed at a couple of big things in my life. First of all, I wanted to be a supercross guy. I wanted to race supercross. Motocross was my thing. So, at a very young age, I realized that's probably not going to happen, right? But I really actually genuinely thought that's what I was going to do. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, okay, well, I'm going to be a rock star. So I went after that, spent 20 years in the music industry.
I mean, you had some success in that.
I had way more success than, there's a million people who wanted to be where I was. Mm-hmm. But, I wasn't Metallica or anything. So, to me, I wasn't Metallica.
Never too late.
It is never too late. Thank you, babe. My biggest fan. But what it wasn't giving me was I didn't feel like the music was actually giving me the reward I wanted, right? I wasn't getting back what I felt like I was giving, right? And so I put a lot of time and energy into like lyric writing and the messaging and it just wasn't there essentially for me. And I think this is my new voice. And I know we've talked about that. So I'm excited to share. Phyllis.
Yeah, you definitely have to be on stage. And
that's right. Yeah. I got to be somewhere like on this camera or that camera or this camera, right? See, look, I'm in hers now. I'm in her view. I got to get in all the shots. So cool. So what do you want to hit on with people? Since this is our first episode, let's make sure we're getting the message right to these people and what they can expect in the future from us. So do you want to add anything specific? Do we have some other notes here?
I mean, I think we kind of...
I think we hit it pretty good.
But yeah, I mean...
Anything you want to add? Okay. So here's the way I look at it, guys. If I was to really clean up the whole show and kind of sweep it all into one big mess, I'd say some of the principles we're going to teach, and this is what you're going to get out of it. At the end, if you stick with us and you hang with us and you follow and you contribute, right? Because it's us contributing to you, you contributing to us, and we're creating the community and a network. And what it looks like is people taking back their life or stealing back their life or taking control of your life. Mm-hmm. Everything from finding your purpose to building your blueprint to putting it into action. And that looks like calendars, that looks like business planning, that looks like, retreats to really dive deep into who you are and your potential. It's going to involve all of that kind of stuff from an entrepreneur or business perspective. But we believe, Lise, wouldn't you say that health and mental wellness is probably the most important factor to even being a business owner?
Right. It's huge. You have to take care of yourself first.
So why do you think that? I know why I think that. Why do you think that your health and mental wellness is so important?
Well, I think, it's just like the analogy of being on the airplane, like, you got to put your mask on first. So before anything else can happen around you. So,
right.
If you're not healthy and in a good space, mentally and physically, everything else in your life is going to suffer.
Sure, because it's sort of a struggle just to get through, and if health isn't not on your side and all those kinds of things, it could slow you down.
Right.
You could have the best business idea, and some ailment. What is it like? You look this up, guys, and post it below. But isn't like 70% of diseases are self-inflicted?
Something like that. Yeah.
It's like ridiculous. I don't know the exact number. We could Google it now, but I know it's crazy because we've looked it up before, and it's like, we're in control of this, guys. Like I said, take back your life.
Right. Take care of yourself.
Take care of yourself. Why I like it is because it says a lot about someone's character, and not from me to them looking at them, but them as their own person. My character, if you see me diligently taking care of myself, right? And then you see me as a business owner, I'm already reflecting that I have discipline. I'm not a fly-by-night anything. I'm in here to win it. Right? So it comes down to like, there's two people in your mind. Like, people, when they say, oh, I want to blank, that's person number one. Then who is it that talks person number one out of not doing that thing? Well, it's person number two. There's got to be two of you in there. You guys have to realize this, that it's about beating
that other voice.
The one that talks you out of the things. Like right now I'm saying, I want to start a business this year. Well, why don't you? That voice number one's not telling you not to. They're telling you to do it. There's some other voice, and that's who we want to speak to. We are not interested in, the talk. It's like, who in there is like talking you out of this? Right? And this inner dialogue is happening to everyone. You've seen it. The literature is endless. And we've been down that road in books, and we've even taken that journey personally. And we hold ourselves pretty accountable. And if we don't, I know you guys are going to do it. So as we decided to take this journey into the social media, we're like, all right, get ready for the comments. Here they come. So, lay it on us, guys. If there's something that you want to dig in deep with and poke at us a little bit and, be a troll, go after it, because I'm ready. I'm ready for any of your conflicts. We invite it. Absolutely. Controversy, man. And like difference of opinion.
Yeah.
Like, because all that's really going to prove is give people the opportunity to look at both sides of the story, first of all. And second of all, the truth will always surface. So my coaching style with people is, with the Minimalist Millionaire Club and the Live Like You Stole It brand, is when I'm coaching, I'm after someone's soul, right? I'm like, if you're not showing me your soul.
Yeah, he's not afraid to tell it like it is.
Yeah. So if you're not showing me that, thank you, babe. But and here's my wife saying that. If you're not showing me like your absolute, I
might not be your friend at the end.
That's true, actually. But that's not important to me. Right. What's important to me is you find your truth.
Yeah.
Right? And because why is my friendship so important?
Right.
It's not. Until you're your authentic self, then my friendship is meaningless, and I owe you that as a friend, even on a small scale. And so, if I just plan, and even if I'm wrong, let's say I'm wrong, and then we're not friends. At least someone pushed hard enough on you that you tested your own belief, right? Like, man, that guy put me through the ringer. Right. And he made me question myself because he pushed so hard. And that's all I care about, is either you're going to end up with your truth, or I'm going to show you your truth. But you're going to win. You win both times. And my friendship with you is not going to change your life. It's about you and where you are in your position. So cool. If you like that coaching style, sign up below. Yeah, if you you want to strip it all away. I know half of y'all scared right now. You're like, yeah, I'm going to call Lisa. Lisa, can you help me? Yeah. Will Chad be there?
Right.
So cool. This has been a ton of fun today, guys. We have a couple of cool guests coming up. Brittany out of Utah, she's coming up. And the success stories that she's got. We have a couple coming in today. What's their names again?
Sarah and Leanne.
Sarah and Leanne. And then their story, I keep wanting to call them nutritionists and they hate it.
Yeah, dietitians.
Dietitians. And so the joke is, if I say nutritionist on the show, there's going to be a hand that comes out of the side of the screen and I'm just you're going to see me go like this. So, but anyway, they're on their way down to the studio and we're going to jump into their story. They definitely took the leap and I don't know where they're at with it, honestly. Yeah. I mean, we were there before they wanted to take it and we had conversations with them numerous times and we knew they were on the fence.
Yeah.
And just recently they took the plunge and went for it. So, and then they took their plunge, they went after it. And now their story is like the entrepreneur journey, like the hardships, the goods, just like real estate.
Yeah.
It's all the goods and the bads. But what we all want to accomplish is we want to conquer all of it. And I don't know if this is a good place for this, but the 3 types of people in the world, you think it'd be a good place for it?
No.
No? We'll lay it down in another video. All right. Cool. Well, hey, thanks for joining us.
And if you would like to join us as a guest, reach out to us.
Yeah, as well. We're looking for people. If you got a cool, like controversial story too, man,
right.
Gosh,
right.
Let's put it together. I think.
Or if you want to, start a business, we would love to help you on your journey and, document that.
And right now, there's a lot of opportunity to work with us, certainly one-on-one. We're brand new to this space, so we're obviously going after it with everything we got. So yeah, jump on board.